Some new information about the tie-up between Google and Anthropic. Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. We kick off today with a report from the New York Times around Google's relationship with Anthropic. The headliner statistic was that documents obtained by the New York Times show that Google owns about 14% of Anthropic. Now, of course, we knew that Google had been an investor in Anthropic, so that's nothing new. Instead, this just gives a little bit more of a background picture around one of these very interesting deals that is quite frankly novel to the AI space. OpenAI's deal with Microsoft set the template for this, and the catalyst for it is the fact that AI needs so much money that the traditional venture capital establishment, which kind of taps out at $1 billion or $2 billion usually, just couldn't keep up with the demand for tens of billions of dollars of capital. That effectively left the frontier labs having their only choice being to team up with one of the big tech giants. Part of the reason that the news media is so interested in this is that it's caught up in the Google antitrust case. You might remember that back in August, a federal court found that Google had acted as a monopolist in internet search, and the Justice Department has made a set of proposals around how to remedy the situation, including forcing Google to sell any AI products that could possibly compete with search. That puts their relationship with Anthropic, whose Claude chatbot is used as a form of search by some, squarely in the crosshairs. Now, Anthropic has argued that Google should not be forced to divest. They said that a forced divestment would, quote, harm both Anthropic and competition more generally. They said that it would depress Anthropic's value and hinder its ability to raise capital. Ultimately, this is just another interesting artifact in what is a fast-changing financial landscape alongside the AI startup scene. Speaking of the fast-changing AI startup scene, a company that has gotten more attention than just about any other over the last week or two is, of course, the AI agent startup Manus. Well, that company has now announced that it's teaming up with Alibaba to be officially able to launch their product in China. In a statement, they said that they were engaging in strategic cooperation with Alibaba's Qwen team to, quote, meet the needs of Chinese users. Basically, the deal right now is that if you are releasing an artificial intelligence product for the Chinese market, you have to work with a Chinese AI company. This is why, for example, Apple hasn't released even their basic Apple Intelligence features in the country, because they've been working to finalize that set of partnerships. Given the excitement around Manus right now, TP Huang captured a lot of the sentiment when they wrote, Alibaba Cloud will need a whole lot more compute. Speaking of Alibaba, that company has also released a new AI model they're calling R1 Omni, just firmly in the line of just great, memorable AI model names that they claim can read human emotions. The team published demos that showed the functionality in interpreting video inputs. In the video, a man in a brown jacket stands in front of a vibrant mural. His facial expression is complex with wide eyes, slightly open mouth, raised eyebrows, and furrowed brows, revealing surprise and anger. Speech recognition technology suggests his voice contains words like you, lower your voice, and freaking out, indicating strong emotions and agitation. Overall, he displays an emotional state of confusion, anger, and excitement. While the specific use cases haven't been articulated for this, Bloomberg suggested it could be a way for Alibaba to keep up with OpenAI's GPT 4.5. On launch, OpenAI had said that their new model had, quote, a better understanding of what humans mean and interprets subtle cues or impact expectations with greater nuance and EQ. Lastly today, beleaguered Intel has announced a new CEO, renewing hopes, at least among some, that the struggling company could be revived. 3 months ago, Pat Gelsinger was fired as CEO after a 4-year stint. He was installed at the head of the company in 2021 with a mandate to rationalize the business and turn things around. By the time he was ousted in December, however, it looked as though the once great US chipmaker was going to be sold off for parts. A few months went by with various merger and acquisition rumors. There were even reports that the Trump administration was pushing a shotgun arrangement with TSMC, who would take over chipmaking foundries. The board, though, has now named Lip-Bu Tan as the new CEO. Tan is a 40-year veteran tech investor and served on the board since 2022. He resigned from his board seat last year, reportedly due to disagreements on how to turn the company around. And when he did resign, that left the board with a sum total of 0 members with any experience in the semiconductor industry. Now at the helm, Tan will be allowed to put his recovery plan into action. In a statement, he wrote, together, we will work hard to restore Intel's position as a world-class products company, establish ourselves as a world-class foundry, and delight our customers like never before. Following the appointment, though, news broke that the TSMC takeover plan is still alive. TSMC has pitched NVIDIA, AMD, and Broadcom on taking shares in a joint venture that would operate Intel's foundries. TSMC would take the lead role in operating the business, but would not own more than 50% of the joint venture. This would help ameliorate concerns from the Trump administration about a foreign company owning critical US-based chipmaking facilities. According to Reuters sources, Intel board members have backed a deal and held negotiations with TSMC, while some executives are firmly opposed. We'll have to see if that goes through, but overall, Wall Street likes the deal, Wall Street likes the new appointment, with Intel stock up 11% in overnight trading. That's going to do it, however, for today's AI Daily Brief Headlines edition. Next up, the main episode.